the sweetest thing I know. You said you wish I was a little more patient, and I just wish your heart was vacant, baby. Tell me who's gonna stay lately. When I call, you don't call back. Turn it on and then I fall back. Cause I need to know if you're still visible. Boy, I know you ain't the same. You try to change you, but can't compromise. I know we need the distance to where you're missing. Do it cross your mind, don't lie. Tell me, are you happy? Tell me, are you happy?
Hey y'all, when it comes to being a mother, like, it's hard. I feel like it's very hard, especially in this day and age that we live in. This generation is very overwhelming, just balancing it all. I feel like mothers need to have mental health checks every 3 weeks at this point, or every month, making sure I'm good. You know what I'm saying? It's heavy. It's a lot, y'all. And I feel like there is no guide to how to be a mother or how to be a parent, period. That's like when you got a guide to, like, they give you a guide to put something together. They give you this and they say, okay, these are the steps to put this particular item together. Give you something to follow, a manual or whatever. And for me personally, even with those manuals, it confuses me a little. It's like, this is really throwing me off from really getting it done, for real. Sometimes we got to put the manual to the side and just be hands-on with what's going on to really get the job done. And be hands-on with it and start messing with the pieces, and, you know, and then it all finally comes together at some point. I don't know if it's just me, but when I have like those little guides and stuff, I'll be like, you know what, this kind of throwing me off and slowing me down personally. So it's like, okay, let me just go ahead and do it, and it'll teach me as I go. The pieces will come together. That's kind of how I feel like with being a mother. Like, ain't no guide, and if we had a guide, we just need to put that guide to the side, for real. It's very overwhelming being a parent, and for all those parents out there parenting and trying to get through and do what needs to be done and stuff like that, like, man, I salute you. I really do, because it's very hard. It is very hard, baby. Man, like, we need mental health checks way more than the usual person. Like, and not to mention the single mothers. It's hard being a mother when you get somebody there with you. But just imagine just being a single mother, doing everything on your own. You have to balance being a mother. You have to balance working. And if you're an entrepreneur, that on top of working. Then you have to balance finding your peace, finding your happiness. It's a lot. You gotta make sure you got a meal cooked on the stove every night. You gotta make sure you're spending time with your kids, spending time with your friends, trying to stay fit. Do what you can to be as active as possible at the end of the day. Trying to exercise. This is just literally a few things that I'm naming. It's a whole lot that I personally have to balance. And baby, I just pray my strength in the Lord. Lord, please, only you can get me through it. This generation alone, I feel like these are the hardest times to be a parent. I will argue that. The times we're living in now, this is the hardest of times to be a parent. Number one, if you ain't got God in it, it's gonna be even harder. If you ain't got God in it, you not gonna get through it. That sounds so harsh, but that's so true. You gotta bring God in on it, period. You think it's hard? Look, it'll be a little easier if you bring God in on it, for sure. I just pray for all mothers. I pray for all parents at the end of the day. Keep going for God, come more closer to God as a person, period, number one. But anything you do or got going on in this life, whoever you are, whatever you're doing as a person, whatever, you gotta bring God in on it. You just got to. I just pray for all parents. I hope that y'all find the strength. I hope that y'all find the guidance. I hope that y'all come closer to God to be able to parent, you know, not the way they say we're supposed to parent, but the way that God intends for you to parent as a person. Having your kids' best interests at heart. Talking with them, trying to come closer with them, trying to understand them more, trying to just balance it all out at the end of the day. And I just pray that we all find that space, live in that space as a parent, and be okay finding what works for us as a parent. Because ain't no book, and then there never will be a book. Also being selfless as a parent, knowing that your child matters, what they think matters, what they feel matters. Yes, we make the choice for the most part when it all boils down, because as a parent, we're here for just that, to parent. You know what I'm saying? And to make the best decision and choice at the end of the day for our children. But also pay attention. Don't just be there as a parent. Because to be honest, there were times where I was just there as a parent. Literally, it's one thing to parent and it's another thing to just be there and just like you're babysitting. And when it feels like you're babysitting, you're ready to give the child back to where they came from. You see what I'm saying? So it can't feel like you're babysitting. Oh, I'm just babysitting my children, feeding them, whatever. Okay, go sit down. You know whatever the case may be. It's almost time. You know, like that's the vibe that it'll give if you're just babysitting your child. There's a difference between that and parenting that child. And we all fall short. We've all fell short. I've been that parent before, being young as hell, not knowing nothing about none of this. Finding out and growing as I'm going. As an adult, as a parent. You have to parent. You have to be there. You have to really talk to those kids. You have to really spend time with them. You have to find out what they enjoy. Do things with them. It's a lot. But you don't want it to feel like a job. You want it to feel like love. You want it to feel like a service that makes you feel love and joy. And because no matter how hard it gets, those moments where you're like, oh my God, what did I get myself into? Right after that moment, there's always a moment that makes you feel like it's all worth it. Literally, it'll happen like in a blink of an eye. You'll be so like, oh my God. And in the next moment, they'll do something that makes you be like, dang man, I wouldn't have it any other way. You know what I'm saying? I just pray for strength in all mothers. I pray for strength in all parents. At the end of the day, I pray that y'all find what works for y'all. That's all I can say. And just keep going, keep finding better ways, even there are also resources that you may want to look into that'll help you with whatever that hinders you as a parent. Whatever you find that's just so like unbelievably just hard, because I know it's hard. And it don't get easier. Even when your kids get grown, it's like, okay, they grown, so what? They still your kids. And you got some that lean towards their parents more than others, whether it be as a child or whether it be as an adult. And then as you have to give something different to each child. That's another thing. So that's another thing that's like, it's overwhelming for sure. You can't give each child the same thing because they're different beings. They all got to have a different energy, a different piece of you, a different part of you. You got to pull a different part of you out every time you're dealing with either one of your children. Even when they get grown, it's like it still never ends, because you still gonna worry about them. You know what's best for them, what they're doing, are they making the right decisions? You know what I mean? Even though we're not supposed to worry, because you can't have faith in and be worrying about things at the same time. Or you can't believe in it and still be worrying about things. Like they cannot coexist. It's like you just have to have that faith, and that's what I pray for. Especially when my kids get grown and get on their own. It's like, yeah, I need all the faith in the world, all the strength in the world. And know that I did all that I could as a mother to know that they'll go out there and do what needs to be done. That they'll go out there and they'll do right for the most part. Yeah, they'll live and make mistakes and all of that, but they'll do what needs to be done. Oh, but it's very much so overwhelming. And I just pray my strength in the Lord. I had to say one today, like, Lord, just the balance of it all, from work, from trying to do things outside of work to make a better living for you and your family, to having to come home, make sure the house is clean, to cook. It sounds so small, but it's not. To find time or a moment in all of that chaos for yourself, to be a single mother, to do everything on your own financially, also to try to instill things in them as young men, and you being a woman that can't be a man for them, you know, to just try to find balance with finding a little downtime for yourself outside of being a mother, trying to date, trying to just keep your head on a swivel too at the same time, trying to eat healthy, trying to still find balance in exercising as much as you can, trying to be a sister, trying to be a aunt, trying to be a uncle, trying to be a daughter, trying to be a mother, trying to be all that you can be. Mental health checks, baby. Like, check in. How you feeling? How you doing? You know what I'm saying? Let's talk to somebody. What brings you back to that, to your level of sanity? What brings you back when all of that chaos has died down a little bit? What do you hear after that? What's your mind saying? What do you feel? Or even in those moments of the chaos, how do you feel? What's going on? What you thinking? You know, like mental health checks need to be, man, taken a lot more seriously, for real. It's a whole lot. And I don't even feel like I've named everything, but you get my drift. And one person's situation is not the other person's. Some people some people's situation way like 10 times harder, but that doesn't mean downplay the next person's situation. That doesn't mean that theirs isn't any less of overwhelming than the next person's. It doesn't matter, because that's their overwhelming. That's what they feel. It's still just as serious, even though somebody else's situation may be way worse. And the way they handle things may be different to the point where it's not as overwhelming for them, or it may be more overwhelming. You know, it just can go either way. It can go either way, y'all. Some encouraging words for y'all mothers out there, just parents, single fathers, because they out there too. I pray that God gives y'all the strength that y'all need to get through. I really pray that he gets you guys through, and like I said, I can't stress it enough, seek him and bring him in on it. Or you're going to be in for a ride. You're already in for a ride as a parent, period. That's just inevitable. But bring God in so that ride can be a little smoother. So he can be right there in the passenger seat with you. Well, you gonna feel him right there. You gonna know, like, yeah, this is crazy, but he right there. I feel you, like I got you. Like, keep going. Find ways to make it easier or feel better for you. And like I said, parent, don't babysit, because I've been there before and I've done that. When I look back, like, damn, right now I feel like I'm really parenting. I realize for a long time now I'm really parenting, like really finding the substance in it, really bringing substance, even when I feel like it's not working for real. Like it is though. So keep going, keep doing all you need to do. Whether you need to talk to somebody, you need to look into certain resources. You got YouTube, you got different books out here. There's things, there's ways, and there's God too. Period. Number one, not two, not the two at all. Reach out. You know what I'm saying? Talk to somebody. Sometimes we do need a break for sure. It's like, man, I need somebody to get my kids. You feel me? We need a break sometimes. And sometimes when we think we need, that break, and then when it's back to reality, it doesn't even feel like you had a break. Sometimes those breaks mean we just need to come closer to our kids, where we don't even feel like in those moments we think it's a break that's needed. Sometimes we need to come closer to our kids. Sometimes that's just what that means. We need to come closer on so many different levels, where I don't feel like in every single moment there's a break needed. No, sometimes we need to just come on closer. Because just because we're in the room and we're with them every single day, that doesn't mean we're close as we need to be. You know what I'm saying? There was a point where I was just there with my kids. Literally, I was just there, babysitting them. No cap. God knows. But as time went, I learned it. You know what I'm saying? It was like, man, you have to be there with your kids. I don't mean just be there. I mean really be there. And be there. You know what I'm saying? Not just be there. Like, okay, here go your food. Boom. Did you play your room? Boom. Did you do so and so? Okay. Give them their phone. They on their phone. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just being there. You gotta really be there. Yeah, y'all, it's so much I can touch on, y'all, and y'all already know I'll touch back on it again soon, for sure. I definitely will, but that's just a piece of it or whatever. Like, I can go on and on and on for real, but mothers, fathers, parents, period, y'all got this. Keep going. Keep asking God for that strength. Keep asking God for to strengthen your faith. Keep asking God to build you as a mother, build you as a father, build you as a parent overall. You know what I'm saying? Ask them to build your children up, to cover their mind, to cover. You know, this world is so crazy, man. I can't stress it enough. You think it's a game? If you think it's a game, play with it. You gotta bring God in. You have to. Ain't no other way. I don't care what nobody said on TikTok or what nobody told you the other day. Ain't no other way. Period. As I pray for my own strength, I pray for y'all's too, because I know the feeling. I can relate. I know. Seriously, like I've been a single mother going on 16 years now. Like for real, for real. Like nobody there type vibe. And just to be transparent, the ones that was there that may have came along that I was dealing with, they weren't bringing the vibes. They weren't coming with nothing. They couldn't offer my kids nothing as a man. And that just spoke on where I was. You know what I'm saying? The space I was in as a mother, as a person. You know, like didn't know what I was doing. You know, at times just to, thinking like, it's just good for me. It's cool. This nigga cool for me, but he ain't nothing for my kids. He can't offer nothing to my kids. Can't bring nothing to the table for my kids at all on a mental level, because that's where it starts for me. I don't care what you can do for them. That ain't nothing. What can they take forever in their mind, in their spirit from you as a man that can help them and that they can take throughout life with them? What can you bring? So now it's for me, like, I don't even care about, for me, it ain't what you can do for me first. I feel like God will situate that as, you know, as time goes along. Like I was just telling my sister the other day, my first thing when it comes to a guy, taking anything serious, it's, I'm looking at what can they offer to my kids? Are they good for my kids? Number one. Being selfless in those moments, I gotta take me out of the equation right now because my kids come first. So are you an asset? You know what I'm saying? On all those levels needed to my kids first. You know what I'm saying? It ain't so much about, my kids first and then I'll adjust and I'll just know. It gotta be for both of us. But I'm gonna consider my kids first and foremost, is what I'm saying. When it comes to any man. And that's another thing, like these kids be needing men. Especially boys. The girls too, for sure. They be needing a man role model, a man that can really step up and be in their life. They need a man to step up and really be in their lives. That they can really listen to and feel and relate to in ways that we don't understand as women. We are feminine energy. A man is masculine, a man is his mind, a man is logic. A man just comes in, a man just gives that energy. Well, they can say, go sit your, go do what she's, no, seriously, like no BS though, like, you heard what she said? And they to it. You know what I'm saying? Y'all finna get up here, y'all finna go up here, y'all finna play ball, y'all finna go work out, y'all finna go so-and-so. Y'all finna get this homework done, or y'all finna, you know what I'm saying? Teaching them things on a mental level. Being there for them, knowing that man always hit you can call my line, I'm at work, whatever I'm doing, call me, talk to me. Too much of that feminine energy with boys, it's only gonna be, it's not gonna be good. It's just not good. Yes, they need us for the nurture part, the nurture aspect, because we're nurturers. But when it comes to that masculinity, that balances out that feminine energy. Them boys need that bad. And I ain't talking about just a man being around because they a man. I'm a man, I got a deep voice, and I'm a man. No, that don't mean nothing, bro. A man that's gonna bring substance to that boy that's becoming a young man. Substance. What are you talking about? What are you teaching them? How are you engaging with them? Physically, what are y'all doing together? How do y'all vibe? How's y'all relationship? How's y'all bond? That means everything. And I would rather for them to go without it than to have something around that ain't bringing nothing. It's like, man, I go crazy on this subject for real. Like, I just keep going for it, so I'm gonna stop, man. But I pray for all parents, man. I can't keep on. I just can't stress that enough because I already know. I know. Yeah, y'all, my stuff cut off. Now I lost my train of thought for sure. I lost my train of thought, but yeah. Who is this? Super ashy. But yeah, y'all. I lost my train of thought, but to pick back up, just like, And then you got guys out here that are in relationships and that do have children and stuff like that, whether they're new fathers or they've been fathers for a while, or just guys that don't have children, whatever the case may be. Like, a lot of these guys don't know how to be fathers or know how to step in the role of a father. They don't know how to do that. A lot of them don't know how to be any of what they need to be to a child or a young boy, or you growing into a man and stuff like that. They don't know how to be that, because for the most part, it's like most boys and most guys, they didn't have that for themselves, so they don't know how to be it. And don't get me wrong, because that's not an excuse, because I feel like every man grows into a man, and I can't really speak much on a man because I'm not a man, you know what I'm saying? But I feel like, just from what I've known and what I've seen and what I gathered as a person, just as a person, period, because we're all human at the end of the day, I feel like every man has to grow into a man. You know what I'm saying? The foundation matters. Their environment matters. The person that's around them, influencing them, whether that be intentionally or unintentionally, that matters. The village matters. So it's the things that are around them, the things that they see, the people that influence them, that molds them into their person, for sure. So what you decide to listen to, what you decide to put in your mind, the people you decide to surround yourself with on an everyday basis, you know, that will definitely play a role in who you become as a man, who you are now as a man. All that plays a role, because you will see it manifest throughout your personality. You will see it manifest throughout your being as a person. Everything you pick up, whether it be consciously or subconsciously, it becomes you, and you don't even know it. It surely becomes you. So you have to be mindful of what you watch, what you listen to. I was just telling my kids the other day, like, anytime a song come on, if you hear it, whether it's riding past, whatever, you're going to see yourself not long after singing that song. You're going to find yourself singing that song. And I pointed it out to my son one day, and he was like, oh man, I ain't even trying to do that. I ain't even trying to sing that song, man. Oh my God, oh my God. This is why environment matters. You ever been on the road and there was a car driving, and y'all been driving straight for a minute, but the car in front of you, it just kind of happens to, you know, swerve the other way. Maybe they was ducking a pothole or something like that. That's most of the time what's going on. You ducking potholes when you in Chicago, for sure. And the car behind you, it automatically follows you. This is just what happens with life. This is just what happens. Things we don't really realize until you really sit down and you think about it. Why did they follow that car? It's a natural thing. It's just a natural reaction. Environment and stuff like that, the things we adapt to, the things we follow, the things we let become of us. It's like an adaptation thing. Like we kind of adapt to certain things. I don't really know how to put this for real, y'all, because I got it in my mind, but right now I'm really just freestyling, trying to make sense of it all for real too. Not only make sense of it for y'all. God help me speak. Like, Lord, speak through me, please. Please, Lord. Environment we're in, it plays a big role. If you live in an environment where there's people just constantly killing all the time and robbing and shooting, all of this is going on around you every single day. Every single day, and you're in this very environment. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, you trying to withdraw from it all. You're trying to do different. You're trying to be better. You're trying, but everything else around you is full of just the opposite. More than likely, I don't care what nobody say, more than likely that environment will suck you in and you will become a product of it. If you listen to a certain person every day that brings you abundance of negativity, that's all they got is negativity on their channel or on their radio, whatever, that's going to become you no matter what you say. It's like that car that's in front of you that swerved and you just happen to follow it. That's the way it goes with environment. It's a strong force. And if you don't have another strong force to kind of withhold you from those influences, it's a battle. It's like you get sucked into a black hole. Seriously. And just going back to men, you know, men not having certain environments or a certain type of man in their life to influence them and steer them down the right path to actually grow into really being a man for real. Because a man isn't just his money. A man, not a man, he ain't just his money. He ain't just the women he sleep with, the cars he drive. Like, come on now, those are superficial things. Those are things that you cannot take with you at all. A man is simply his mind, period. What do you think? How do you think? What do you offer out here into the world? How do you impact people? How do you impact the world? How do you make a difference? How do you lead? Can you lead? Can you take a young boy and mold him into a young man? And him trust you and believe in you and follow in your footsteps? Can you sit down and have a real conversation with that young boy and teach that young boy something that you may have, whether it be learned from experience or from somebody that taught you something, another man that taught you, wherever it came from? Can you do that? Can you love that boy? Can you show that boy that being vulnerable is okay? Can you show that boy that crying is okay as a man? That having feelings is okay as a man? Can you put your ego and your pride to the side and show him how to do that as a man? To live truly and fully in himself as a man? Can you show him how to be his own man and not follow the world? Can you teach him how to do things with his hands? How to fix things? How to bring food in the crib at the end of the day? How to provide? Can you teach? You know what I'm saying? And like I say, a lot of times these men, they don't have that, so they don't know how to give it. A lot of young boys, they have to go learn. They learn from basketball players and however they act as a person, or whatever they bring to the world. They learn from basketball players. They learn people they see on the TV. They learn people that got a lot of money, so they want to be like them. Oh, I should be, you know what, y'all understand it. It's environment. That's what they, you know what I'm saying, go towards. I get it. But when you being really intentional, you know what I'm saying, and looking deep within yourself, knowing, like, you know what I'm saying, asking yourself, who am I? Who am I? Why am I here? What purpose does God want me to serve as a person, as a man, as a woman, whoever? It's gonna all start with self. Where you end, it has to begin with self. Whether it comes to being a man, a boyfriend, a husband, a woman, a mother, whatever it may be, bro. It all got to start with self. You got to figure out who you are to be able to deliver to this world and to people properly. You got to figure out who you are and what you bring. Oh yeah, man, it's just important, man. Like, that's why it's so messed up. Like 19 Keys said, like, if you want to change anything, a change start with the man. Like, it starts with the man. Period. And it's crazy, and that's hard too, because it's like, man, a lot of these men not men, and they don't know how to be men, and they ain't trying to figure out how to be men, because all the dumb stupidness out here in the world is molding them into what they want to mold them into, because they ain't got no guidance. Because guess what, they ain't got no guidance. They ain't got no man to lead them and show them that ain't it, to show them like Lil Uzi what he doing, that ain't it. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not masculine. That ain't this, that ain't that. You know what nobody to show them for real. Everything that is lost, I feel like it can be found if men turn into men. Because men lead. Men lead the women, and the women lead the children under the men. You know what I'm saying? Under the man. The man leads the woman. God leads the man. The man leads the woman. The woman leads the children. You know, nurture and care for the children under the man. You know what I'm saying? Because what he say goes. Period. Come lead me. What you say do? How you say do it? He run the show. He's supposed to run the show. Period. Come run my show. If you feel me, you feel me. Not saying a woman doesn't have a voice, a woman doesn't have a, not saying that, but I said what I said. The man leads. Let that man be a man if he a man. And that's another story. But yeah, like, just going back to the man, if you would just find one man or a handful of men that can just pull from each portion of the world and just bring them all in and lead and guide them and show them, and that's why I love so much of what 19 Keys is doing. Like, I feel like he was God, like God working through him. God is really working through that man. He working through that man for the world. I love everything about it, man. You just gotta want it. You gotta really want it. Cause a lot of men will be like in their ego and in their pride, like, I ain't gonna listen to another nigga. I don't wanna. But no, a man that wanna learn, a man that wanna change, a man that wanna be better, a man that really wanna be a man, they gonna wanna hear what that man gotta say. Cause he ain't saying nothing wrong. He ain't giving them no bad information for real. Being able to receive things, that makes you a man too. Being able to receive things, being able to get out of your ego, out of your pride, that makes you a man too. Being able to be like, yeah, I do need help with that. You know what I'm saying? What's to that? How can I do this? How can I learn that? How can I grow? How can I be better? But yeah, man, it just all starts with the man for real. It does. It really starts with the man. And if we want to change anything, we got to change men. Like, men got to get back to being men so they can lead and run the world. Bring that power back. Bring it back. The real power. I ain't talking about no 50 Cent and all that kind. I'm talking about that real power. That real, man. Walk that walk, talk that talk. That God. It's already in you. It's already here. Tap into the right people. Tap into the right environments for real. If you didn't have a father coming up, you got many resources out here. You know what I'm saying? And then you got everything within yourself, number one, because that's where it starts. The people around you that's influencing it and giving you the right information, they just bringing all that up out of you because it's already in you. Just taking you along the right route to get there. To pull out what's already in you. And to let you know and remind you, like, yeah, you that one. So with or without one, there's no excuse. But also without one, it makes it that much harder. It makes it harder to get in touch and figure out what to do without that guidance or how to be. But everybody will find their way, and I know they will. Everybody, God gonna do what he need to do. But you gotta help him. You gotta walk with him. You gotta meet him. But he definitely meets you where you at. He meets you where you at every single time, no matter where you at with it. And just like George Foreman said in that movie, that's one piece of the movie that stood out to me that I took from that. I take something from every situation. I didn't too much care for the movie that much, but I liked it more towards the end. But it was one thing that stood out to me in that movie that I will never forget. I learned something every single day. I learned something every day. There was a parent brought a child up to him in church, and he was like, she was saying, like, I need you to help him or something of that nature. Like, I need you to help him, whatever. And he like, young man, just keep coming to church with your grandmother or whoever she was. Keep coming to church with her every Sunday, or just come to church every day or something. He said like that, and he walked off and left it alone. And then he ended up seeing on the TV that either the boy went to jail for robbery or something, or he was dead. It was either the boy got killed or he got sent to jail. It was one or the other. It hurt him really bad because he was like, dang. He paused and he said, I didn't meet him where he was at. I met him where I wanted him to be already. I wanted him pretty much to be ready for church. I wanted him to be ready to accept God. I wanted him to be ready to come to me and be ready already. So he was just like, dang, I didn't meet him where he was at. I didn't meet him where he was. I met him where I wanted him to be. You know what I'm saying? But the boy wasn't there yet. So that was just real heavy to me. Like, a lot of times we meet folks where we want them to be at already, for sure, when in reality we have to meet them where they are. And that's just a note to myself, just learning to meet folks where they at and learning how to deal with it the best way that I can. Don't get me wrong, some things you just have to keep away from you. Don't get it twisted. Some things you have to keep away from you. It's just not good. If it's hindering you, If it's just simply hindering you, I'm not meeting you there. I'm not going to continue to meet you there. I can't do it. You know what I'm saying? Like, if it's not growing you at all, if it's not adding value to you, no matter the person, if it's not adding value or adding or growing you and helping you in any kind of way, it's just constantly hindering you and being a bad force and a bad energy all the time, you can't meet that. I don't want to meet you nowhere. But yeah, y'all, that just kind of stood out for real. But y'all, I'll go on and on and on. That's why I can't wait till God bless me with a podcast for real. Like, just bless me, you know, with the words. Bless me with the mind. Bless me with the spirit to even do it in the first place. Like, but that's it, y'all. My first video cut off, but I'm gonna wrap it up, y'all.
Moms in the household did not have the ability to teach the boy to become a man because the boy is yearning for something the mother can't give him. You understand me? And the mother is often giving the boy her breast, spoiling the boy, you understand me, not allowing him to develop into manhood. And so the young boy is going to often rebel against that mother because he's not trying to become her.
That's right.
And he realizes if I accept all of your instructions, good or bad, I will become you by taking on your mind. So I would rather take on a man's mind who may not be as good as you morally, but at least I'll be becoming a man. And whether it's a good man or bad man, at least it's a man because I don't want to become a woman.
That's heavy.
So he's going to deny the thoughts of his mother, even though the mother is often the greatest mentor, right? But he needs to have balance in order to accept that from her. Because if he doesn't have enough of the man, the guidance coming, you understand me? He's only taking a woman's guidance that she can help develop you, but she's not going to develop you into who you're supposed to be completely. She can only develop a part of you. Right? But when she tries to develop the whole of you that is only supposed to be a part, she is destroying a part of you, leaving you imbalanced.
Oh my God.
So the young boys is soft. They holding on to the mother leg. I'm shy. I don't want to talk. I was never that child. I was never hiding behind moms and pops. I'm walking up to the strangers. You understand me? When Pop taught me, Asian Juan taught me how to look into the eye, how to shake hand, firming it as a man. You understand me? And how to move in this world once you go about. You understand me? Look at man in his eyes. Whether it's a killer, whether it's a corporate guy, whether it's a...
Hey, y'all. Stuff just be so full circle, man. Like, I just had this entire conversation, you know, on my own, coming from my spirit. You feel me? Just had this conversation. Y'all just saying it. Was watching YouTube or whatever, a 19 Keys video, something recent, and then this popped up, an old video from a year ago. This resonates so much with what I just said, and it answers questions. It answers things that I could not answer or things I couldn't put into perspective. Like, full circle. I never seen this video. It's a year old. It's my first time seeing it. And when I say it's hitting everything, all the things I couldn't answer, all the things I couldn't think of, perspective, all of that. Like, it's just hitting. Like, God sent this video, like, yeah, watch this real quick. Watch this real quick. Like, just acknowledging God in certain moments, y'all. Man, y'all. Just certain moments where you be like, when you find his presence and sit in it. Knowing he's present and acknowledging that. Like, yeah, God, I know this was you. I know you here. I know. Being present in every moment, man. That's crazy. This so full circle. This interview, this video is everything. All his videos be everything. Every time. Like, it's everything, man. The perspective, man. I hope y'all had a day y'all deserve today. Man, I don't care if we in the middle of the video, the beginning of the video, or the end of the video. Like, comment, and subscribe. Come vibe with me. Come rock with me. Come roll with me. You know what I'm saying? If you new, come stay for a while. Come join the vibes. Come tap in. You know what I'm saying? And I'll see y'all next time. I'm out.